Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, and today we're going to dive into the new Secrets of Power Star Wars Unlimited set coming up this November. We're going to take a look at the plot mechanic and try to decide, is it good, bad, or busted? And my early look at it, it might be busted. Let's take a look. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Star Wars Unlimited set, Secrets of Power, and we're going to begin diving in and trying to decide if these new mechanics that are introducing are going to be good or not. So this set is slated to come out later this year in November. So let's go ahead and dive in and see if the new plot mechanic is any good. So first off, let's take a look at some of the cards. These are 4 of the 5 cards that were spoiled at the Galactic Championships in Vegas about a week ago. First, we're going to take a look at the leader that is going to be kind of working with the new plot cards. We have Chancellor Palpatine, a Villain Blue, Action 1. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for a card with plot, reveal it, and draw it. So immediately we're getting a leader that's going to let us search and kind of tutor for the plot cards. This does have the S rarity, so this is going to be one of the starter leaders. Chancellor Palpatine flips on a 7. When he deploys, the next card you play using plot this phase costs 3 less. Alright, so now let's ask, what is plot? Well, plot is kind of like smuggle. In fact, it's exactly like smuggle, except it can only be used whenever your leader deploys. If we look at Cad Bane and go ahead and figure out what this does, he's 5 cost, Villain Blue, 4/5, Underworld Bounty Hunter. Love the art. And it says, when played, you may defeat a unit with 2 or less remaining HP. But here's the key part. Plot. When you deploy a leader, you may play this card from your resources, paying its cost, replace it with the top card of your deck. So this mechanic works just like smuggle, except it can only be used when you deploy a leader. Now, it looks like we're going to have some ways to play these cards outside of that, bend the rules a little bit. We get when has become now, which is a 1-cost villain card. Play a card with plot. Now, here's the issue here. Play a card with plot from your resources, paying its cost. Put the top card of your deck into play as a resource. Now, this card is probably going to get changed or eroded because the way this card reads right now, play a card with plot from your resources, put the top card of your deck into play as a resource. There's a missing part of this because the way this reads right now, you could just ramp for 1. So that's probably going to get changed before it hits print. Let's hope. Now, Jar Jar Binks, he costs 2, is a green card. 2/1 Naboo Republic Gungan official. Lots of tags there. When played, give a friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase, and it has the plot tag as well. So, is the plot mechanic going to be good? I think it's going to be very good, in the sense that Smuggle was really good, and, just looking at these cards, what we're looking at is kind of setting up these big bomb turns whenever you flip your leader, and being able to kind of action cheat and do a lot of things at once and kind of create this oppressive, show of force. But it's the next card spoiled that really had my brain working. So let's see, is the plot mechanic good? I think it's going to be extremely good. So Armor of Fortune, 2-cost armor, +0/+3. So couple of things on this card. There's no restrictions on what this can be played on. So you can play it on a vehicle, you can play it on a unit, you can play it on a leader. While I was at the Galactic Championships and this was spoiled, I was hanging out with some of the BN, the Botha Network guys, and we were kind of joking, calling this plot armor. And I think it's really good because think of it this way. You flip armor, you flip your leader, you play Armor of Fortune immediately, and let's say you're playing Gar Saxon, he immediately becomes a 4/10, and he's upgraded, so he's a 5/10. So that's insane. Or we go back and look at old Chirrut from set 1. This guy was like this Voltron powerhouse very early on, but if you could flip him and he's a 3/8, that deck could make a comeback. And the thing is with plot armor is I kind of feel like this is just kind of like the very first upgrade we've seen with plot. If they make a really strong one and you can kind of make this Voltron Kylo set 5, leader where now we can, make some giant guy on flip, that's extremely good. But let's continue thinking about other leaders that work with just Armor of Fortune, or as I will now call it always, plot armor. Let's take a look at Obi-Wan Kenobi, Sentinel. He comes in as a 410 Sentinel. That's a force to be reckoned with. Rey, love Rey. Flips as a 2-6, and that sometimes can leave her vulnerable for your opponent to do something. Now she comes in with plot armor, which is kind of funny. But she becomes a 2-9, and when she attacks, she gets an experience token. She becomes a 310 Restore 3. We also have to look at heroes or leaders that, were kind of understated for what we're trying to do with them. I look at Darth Revan, a 3-6 now becomes a 3-9. Now all of a sudden maybe his ability is relevant because he can actually survive long enough to use it. So I think this is a really good mechanic. And as we see more and more plot cards released, I'm really going to be, on watch. We call it plot watch to kind of see what we can brew with this. Because right now, just with plot armor, I feel that there is a lot that we can do with it, just with what we've seen already. Now, the one holdback on plot is you can only use it when your leader deploys. Too bad we don't have a leader that can deploy multiple times. Oh, wait, we do. Trench. Is Trench going to be the card for the next set? The fact that he can deploy multiple times, you could trigger your plot cards over and over and over again. So this might be the time to go out and get your Admiral Trench showcases while they're cheap, because will we see a Trench meta with plot? It's possible. I'd love to see it. So anyway, I'd love to hear your feedback. What do you think about the new plot mechanic? I think plot armor is a really good card and could actually fit into a lot of cool decks. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. And with that, we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.